Okay, y'all, 1 week to Thanksgiving, but that's good news, right? I hope that you are planning some things that will bring you great joy. So today I want to have one more pass at this whole expectations thing. And today, last week I talked about managing our own expectations, about really assessing, are these reasonable or unreasonable? And today I want to talk about other people's expectations. And you know what? We're going to go through the same practice. We're going to think about, are those other people's expectations reasonable or unreasonable? And you know what? Both kinds come at us. And so what we want to do is that we want to serve God and glorify Him well. We want to love our people well. And can I say that sometimes that we are not loving our people well when we don't have any boundaries? They may like it. They may feel like we love them, but that's still maybe not loving them well if we are taking on something that they actually should be doing. And we want to have a life that brings us great joy. We can have all three of those when we have healthy biblical boundaries in place. Several years ago, I got an email from our church office from somebody I dearly love in our church office, but a boundary was breached. So in this email, without asking me ahead of time, this person gave me an assignment on a committee I had never been part of. Well, the old Amy would have read that email, had some chest pains, and said, okay, and I would have killed myself doing it. But in the meantime, I had written exhale, thought through all these things, tried to follow my advice. I have 3 key questions in exhale that I run every expectation through now that really, really helped me. And when I ran this expectation being put on me by one of the church staff members, I realized this is an unreasonable expectation. And so I was able to formulate a no. I want you to do this during this season. When someone is asking you to put something on their calendar or a purchase that doesn't fit into your budget, something in the calendar that doesn't fit in your schedule or would force you to bump something else that you're already called to. When someone is putting an expectation on you for even what's going to be on the table next week or on Christmas morning, all kinds of expectations come our way this time of year. I want you to pause and I want you to think about, is this a reasonable expectation or an unreasonable expectation? So the first step, just like with your own, is to assess. But instead of asking people this time, polling people is never good. It never leads to great results. Is I want you to ask yourself some of these questions. Does this fit on my schedule? Will it make me bump something off? Will this put something on my credit card that I'm going to have a hard time paying off? Is this something that I have time to make or not make? Does anybody care if it's on the table besides this one person? So ask yourself all of these questions, and then you may need to say no. You may need to set a boundary, or here's your assignment for this week. Decide when you need to say no and decide when you can compromise. So, for example, with this particular situation with my church office, this person had asked me to oversee, or actually they didn't ask me, they told me I was going to oversee a committee. And so I realized I couldn't do that, and that violated the boundary of being asked with a little bit of respect, but also it just didn't fit into my schedule. It didn't fit into my calling, but I realized that I could compromise a little bit. And so when I emailed back, I just said, thank you so much for thinking of me. It's an honor for you to think that I could lead that committee. I actually am not able to do that right now, but I would be happy to volunteer 3 hours next month to contribute to the work of this committee. So I think sometimes when we're thinking about boundaries, we think of things in terms of all or nothing. It has to be a yes or a definite no. I do want you to speak up for your boundaries, but before you do, will you consider, do I need to say a no, a kind, gentle, loving no, or can I compromise a little bit? Can I do something that this person is asking me to do in some form in a way that would take less time? So instead of baking cookies for your child's school PTA, if you've been asked to do that, maybe you could purchase some from a local bakery and take those to them. So your assignment this week is to think about the expectations that you have on you for next week, Thanksgiving, and for coming up at Christmas, to think, are they reasonable or unreasonable? And for the unreasonable ones, ask yourself, do I need to say a no and speak up? Or can I speak up and give a concession, a compromise? Hey, happy Thanksgiving, friends. I'm so glad to be in this community with you. Would you leave me a comment today telling me kind of how you have been able to set boundaries better during this holiday season? I need to learn from you too. I'm still in process. Bye.